Today, let's talk about something incredibly powerful, yet often overlooked: the hidden power of daily progress. It's easy to become overwhelmed when we think about our big goals, and we can easily feel like we're not moving fast enough. But let me remind you that progress doesn't always have to be dramatic or immediate. The most transformative changes happen when we commit to consistent, daily actions. You see, success isn't built in one great leap. It's built in the small, seemingly insignificant steps we take every single day. Each of those moments of effort, though they might feel small or even invisible at times, adds up. Over time, the compound effect of these daily actions can create extraordinary results. When we look at the bigger picture, it's easy to get discouraged, especially when we don't see the results right away. But don't get discouraged, because every step forward counts. Every effort, no matter how minor it may seem, is a victory. This is how momentum is built. When you show up, even on days when you don't feel like it, you create a forward-moving force that's hard to stop. But here's the key: your mindset matters. If you shift your focus from perfection to progress, you'll begin to celebrate the small wins. These wins may feel tiny in the moment, but together they form the foundation of something greater than you can even imagine. Remember, it's not about overnight success. It's about sustainable growth. Small, intentional changes that you commit to every day will create habits that will not only help you achieve your goals, but will make those goals feel more attainable, more real, and more achievable. So, let me ask you, what is one small step you can take today? What is one action you can commit to, no matter how small, that will lead you closer to your vision? It's time to start. Embrace the power of daily progress, because in those small, steady steps, you hold the key to a future filled with amazing, transformative results. The concept of consistency is often underestimated, especially when we set our sights on grand goals. We envision big leaps, massive achievements, and instant results. However, the true power lies in the small, consistent steps that we take each day. Achieving success isn't about making huge moves all at once. It's about committing to progress, no matter how small, on a daily basis. The hidden power of daily progress emerges when we embrace consistency, even in the face of challenges or when the results don't immediately appear. We live in a world that craves instant gratification, where we're constantly looking for quick fixes and shortcuts. But real, lasting success is not built on shortcuts. It is built on the foundation of consistency. Think about any long-term accomplishment you've achieved in your life, whether it's personal, academic, or professional. Was it the result of one sudden breakthrough, or was it the culmination of small, intentional actions taken over time? Most likely it was a combination of steady effort and perseverance that led you to your desired outcome. That's the magic of consistency. It's the steady, daily effort that eventually leads to extraordinary results. Consider the analogy of planting a tree. When you first plant the seed, you may not see any immediate growth. In fact, you might feel discouraged at times because even though you water it, nurture it, and give it everything it needs, there doesn't seem to be any visible progress. But if you keep watering that seed day after day, eventually it will begin to sprout. Over time, it will grow stronger, taller, and more resilient. However, if you stopped watering it after a few days because you didn't see immediate results, that seed would never have had a chance to reach its full potential. The same principle applies to your personal goals and dreams. The path to success is often paved with small, consistent actions that, in the moment, might not feel significant. But those actions, when compounded over time, are what lead to transformative results. Daily progress may seem slow, and there may be moments where it feels like you're not making enough of an impact. But what you don't see is the quiet work happening beneath the surface, the foundation being laid for something much bigger. It's easy to become disheartened by slow progress, especially in the beginning stages of a new venture. But this is where consistency is key. The work you put in every single day, no matter how small it seems, is a vital part of your growth process. Consistency creates momentum. Momentum is what propels us forward, especially when we encounter obstacles or setbacks. When we stay consistent, we begin to build a rhythm, a natural flow that keeps us going even when challenges arise. This rhythm becomes a part of who we are. It's no longer something we have to force ourselves to do. We've developed the discipline and commitment to keep going no matter what. And as we continue to take those small steps, we find that progress becomes easier. It doesn't feel like an uphill battle anymore because we've built the habit. We've made it part of our routine. It's important to understand that success doesn't always happen in large, dramatic bursts. Often it's the quiet, behind-the-scenes work that yields the most powerful results. When you focus on consistency, you're laying the groundwork for long-term success. Small actions may not seem impressive at first, but over time they add up in ways you can't always predict. One step today, one step tomorrow, and eventually you will be amazed at how far you've come. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, or when the results don't match your expectations. The truth is, you won't always feel motivated or inspired to take those small steps, but by committing to consistency, you build the mental and emotional muscle necessary to push through the tough times. You remind yourself that progress is a process, not a destination. As you embrace the power of daily progress, remember that it's the small actions taken consistently that create lasting change. Each day you're planting seeds, watering them, and nurturing your dreams. And though it may not feel like it in the moment, those seeds are growing into something truly remarkable. Stay committed, stay consistent, and watch how the hidden power of daily progress transforms your life over time. When we talk about daily progress, one of the most powerful aspects is the momentum it creates. Momentum is often described as the force that propels us forward, even when we encounter obstacles or feel like giving up. It's a subtle but undeniable energy that builds over time, and it is one of the most vital ingredients for sustained success. When we commit to taking small actions every day, we start a chain reaction that picks up speed as time passes. This momentum is what enables us to keep going even when the road becomes difficult. And it's what leads to breakthroughs that we could never have predicted. At first, when we set out to accomplish something, the progress can feel slow. We may question whether our efforts are truly making a difference, especially if the results aren't immediately visible. This is when it's easy to feel disheartened. But the key to unlocking the power of momentum is simply showing up and doing the work day after day. As we continue to make progress, even if it feels small or insignificant at the time, we begin to develop a rhythm. The more we take action, the more momentum we create, and the easier it becomes to keep moving forward. Think of momentum as a snowball rolling down a hill. At the beginning, the snowball is small and doesn't seem like much, but as it moves, it picks up more snow, growing larger and faster. It may feel like a slow start, but once the snowball gains enough momentum, it becomes unstoppable. In much the same way, the small actions we take every day begin to accumulate, and over time, they have a compounding effect. It's not just about doing something every day. It's about doing it with consistency, building upon what you did yesterday and letting that forward motion carry you to new heights. When momentum is on your side, even the toughest challenges feel more manageable. This is because once you've developed a rhythm of progress, the obstacles you face no longer feel like roadblocks. They feel like challenges that you can navigate because you've built up the strength, the persistence, and the mindset to tackle them. The longer you keep up your daily efforts, the more confident you become in your ability to handle adversity. This is the gift of momentum. It gives you the resilience to persevere even when the journey feels difficult. One of the most amazing things about momentum is how it builds on itself. In the beginning, you may not feel like you're making much of an impact, but as you continue to put in the work, you begin to see that each day's effort adds to the one before it. You've created a forward-moving energy that continues to build, day after day. This is when the magic happens. The consistency that you've shown pays off in ways you might not have expected. Suddenly, things start to fall into place. Opportunities appear, and the results you've been working for seem to manifest almost effortlessly, even though they were a long time in the making. Momentum also helps to reduce the friction that often comes with starting something new. At the beginning of any project or goal, we tend to overthink and hesitate. The fear of failure, the uncertainty about where to begin, and the overwhelm of the task ahead can paralyze us. But once we get into the habit of taking small steps every day, that initial resistance starts to dissipate. The process becomes smoother, and we're able to take action more freely. This is why it's so important to build momentum early. The sooner you start taking action, no matter how small, the sooner you'll start to feel the momentum working in your favor. And yet, it's important to remember that momentum is not something that happens overnight. It takes time. It takes consistent effort. But once you've established momentum, it becomes something that works for you rather than against you. The key is to stay consistent, even when the progress feels slow, even when you can't yet see the results of your work. If you continue to show up, continue to take those small daily steps, you will eventually build the kind of momentum that will drive you to success. As you progress, keep in mind that momentum is not just about big wins or instant results. It's about building the mental and emotional stamina to keep moving forward even when it seems like things aren't changing. Each step you take builds momentum, and each moment you persist gets you closer to your ultimate goal. Trust in the process and know that, like that snowball rolling down the hill, your momentum will eventually carry you farther than you ever thought possible. In the pursuit of our goals, challenges are inevitable. No matter how hard we try to plan or prepare, life has a way of throwing obstacles in our path. These obstacles can feel discouraging, and it's easy to let setbacks dictate our progress. But the power of daily progress lies not in avoiding challenges, but in embracing them. Every obstacle we face, every difficult moment, is an opportunity for growth, and the key to overcoming these challenges is to keep moving forward, even when it feels like we're not making any significant progress. Often, when we embark on a new goal or venture, we expect things to be smooth sailing. We assume that if we put in the effort, success will come quickly and easily. But the reality is, no journey is without its bumps along the way. The important thing to remember is that setbacks are not a sign of failure. They are a natural part of the process. Every successful person has faced adversity, and it's the way they respond to challenges that determines their ultimate success. When you encounter a setback, it's tempting to stop or to rethink your entire approach. You may feel like your progress has been derailed or that you're not cut out for the journey. But the hidden power of daily progress is that, even on the toughest days, you are still moving forward. The small actions you take each day may not feel like they're making a difference in the moment, but they are. In fact, these small steps are often the most important ones, because they keep you connected to your goal, even when the path seems unclear. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that progress should always be fast or visible. We want to see immediate results to reassure us that we're on the right track. But growth often happens in ways we can't immediately see. Sometimes the most important progress happens behind the scenes. The emotional and mental growth that occurs when we choose to persevere, even in the face of difficulty. Each time you continue to take action, despite setbacks, you are building resilience and strength. This resilience becomes an invaluable tool in overcoming future obstacles. The key to overcoming challenges through daily progress is to focus on consistency, not perfection. The process may not always look neat or linear, and there may be days when you feel like giving up. But even if you're not seeing dramatic results, every action you take builds the foundation for success. Sometimes it's the simple act of showing up each day that makes the biggest difference. Progress may feel slow, but if you continue to show up, you will eventually reach the point where the small steps you've taken have added up to something significant. It's also important to remember that setbacks don't define you. They don't mean that you've failed or that you're not capable of achieving your goal. Challenges are simply part of the journey. Each time you encounter an obstacle, you have the chance to learn something new about yourself. You may learn about your strengths, your weaknesses, or your ability to overcome adversity. These lessons are invaluable, and they shape the person you become along the way. Rather than viewing setbacks as something to fear, learn to see them as opportunities for growth. Every time you face an obstacle and choose to push forward, you are building the mental and emotional strength that will carry you through future challenges. Another important aspect of overcoming challenges through daily progress is the ability to adapt. When obstacles arise, it's easy to feel like the goal is no longer achievable or that you need to change everything about your approach. But often, the key is not to abandon your goal entirely, but to adjust your methods. Flexibility is essential in the face of adversity. Sometimes, a small tweak in your approach or a shift in perspective is all it takes to get back on track. The ability to remain open and adaptable allows you to keep moving forward, even when the original plan no longer seems viable. At times, it may feel like you're stuck in a cycle of struggle and frustration. You may wonder if all your efforts are in vain, but this is where the power of daily progress truly shines. Every small action you take, no matter how insignificant it seems, is an investment in your future success. By continuing to take these steps, you are building the momentum, resilience, and adaptability that will help you push through even the toughest challenges. Progress isn't always about the speed at which you move forward. It's about the persistence to keep moving, even when the road gets tough. So, when you face challenges, remember that these obstacles are not signs that you should quit. They are opportunities to grow. Keep taking small, consistent actions, even when things don't seem to be going your way. With each step you take, you are laying the groundwork for future success. The challenges you face today will only make you stronger tomorrow. And with daily progress, you will not only overcome these obstacles, but emerge from them more resilient, more capable, and more prepared for the next challenge that comes your way. The concept of growth through consistency cannot be overstated. When we commit to making daily progress, we are, in essence, setting ourselves up for continuous improvement. This process is not about big, dramatic changes, but rather about embracing the small, incremental steps that lead to long-term success. Consistency is what allows us to turn fleeting moments of effort into lasting change. And it's this very consistency that helps us develop habits that will stay with us for a lifetime. When you think about consistency, think about it as a steady rhythm that you cultivate over time. At first, it might feel like your efforts are too small to make a difference. Maybe you wake up early for a workout, or you write a few paragraphs every day toward a big project, and you don't immediately see significant results. It's easy to become disheartened at this stage. But remember, the power of daily progress lies in the steady accumulation of these small actions. Over time, these efforts compound and lead to results that are far more significant than we could have imagined. One of the most powerful aspects of consistency is that it eliminates the need for constant motivation. When we first embark on a goal, we rely heavily on motivation to keep us moving forward. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, often depending on our mood or external circumstances. What truly makes the difference in the long run is building a routine that incorporates small, consistent actions regardless of how we feel in the moment. This is the difference between someone who achieves their goals and someone who falls off track after a few weeks. Consistency doesn't depend on motivation. It depends on commitment to the process. Consistency also gives us the space to refine our approach. As we move forward day after day, we naturally learn from our actions. We adjust, we improve, and we fine-tune our methods. The daily progress allows us to evaluate what's working and what's not, and to make necessary changes along the way. This is the beauty of consistency. It doesn't require us to be perfect, but it does require us to show up and try. And through that process of trial and error, we grow. In many cases, the first few days, weeks, or even months of our journey may not show visible results, but this is when the most important work is happening. During this time, we are developing discipline, building resilience, and establishing a foundation that will eventually lead to success. The results of daily consistency often come when we least expect them. After weeks of effort, you may suddenly experience a breakthrough that makes all the previous days of hard work seem worthwhile. That's the power of consistency. It's the ability to continue even when the rewards aren't immediately apparent. Another reason consistency is so powerful is because it reinforces the idea of progress, not perfection. We live in a society that often values instant results, and we can fall into the trap of thinking that if we don't see rapid growth, we must not be doing things correctly. But the truth is, progress doesn't always look like we expect. It's easy to focus on the grand milestones, but real growth often happens in the quiet moments, when you've put in the work, and you can feel the subtle shifts that occur within yourself. These moments may not be visible to others, but they are incredibly important to your personal journey. Consistency also creates a sense of trust in yourself. When you consistently show up, even on the tough days, you begin to build a relationship with yourself based on reliability. You prove to yourself that you can be counted on to do the work even when it's hard. This self-trust is essential to long-term success. It becomes easier to push through challenges, knowing that you have a track record of showing up and giving your best. And this trust extends beyond just the task at hand. It boosts your confidence in your ability to take on bigger, more complex challenges in the future. Furthermore, consistency allows us to celebrate small victories. In the pursuit of big goals, we often get so focused on the finish line that we forget to acknowledge the small wins along the way. But these small wins are crucial. Every day that you show up, every small action you take, is a victory in itself. These incremental wins build momentum and help you stay motivated to continue. By focusing on the process rather than the outcome, you make the journey more enjoyable and less about the stress of achieving a distant goal. At the same time, consistency helps us maintain balance. When we are committed to making progress every day, we develop a sense of structure and routine. This routine helps us stay organized and manage our time effectively. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the enormity of our goals, we break them down into manageable, daily tasks. By doing so, we eliminate procrastination and reduce the anxiety that often comes with a large, looming goal. The consistent daily effort makes the seemingly impossible feel achievable, and it helps us manage both our expectations and our time. In the end, daily progress through consistency is the key to creating lasting change. It's the foundation upon which success is built. When we commit to consistent daily actions, we start a ripple effect of growth, learning, and improvement. Over time, this commitment to progress transforms us in ways we couldn't have predicted, and it leads us to the success we desire. It's not the big leaps that make the difference. It's the steady, consistent steps that we take every day that shape our journey and lead us toward our ultimate goals.